winning feels good, always. But in particular, coming off a really disappointing game on Tuesday, which followed a spirited effort that we put together on the road and a tough loss at Dayton, we were in a little bit of a fog as a team. And through halftime, we were still there trying to fight through it. I really believe that there's a pretty good team inside that locker room, and we're trying to find a way to unlock them. And I was proud tonight that we were in a game where our backs were against the wall, and we were kind of thinking too much and playing with a little bit of anxiety, and they found a way to fight, to hold a well-coached team to 28% from the field when you're struggling offensively, and we've been struggling all year, and we'll get out of it. But to respond by doing that, I think Sam was here just a little bit ago, and we're trying to get him to not think about scoring as much and just play. Here's a guy who had a big offensive rebound. He had 12 deflections in the game. So I was really proud of the guys' ability to stick together and fight through some adversity, because you could see them playing with a level of anxiety and tremendous fight. I'm proud, happy for those guys.
Samuel mentioned the first half, shots weren't falling. From your standpoint, did you see, was it just one of those days where shots weren't falling, or was there something Evansville was doing on the defensive end? Or was it, like you said, sort of a carryover from the fog of New Mexico?
I think a little bit of all of those things. Evansville plays a defense where they go under some screens and they kind of pack it in a little bit. So there are some looks that you could settle for, right? And so instead of us getting an advantage and taking those shots, we were kind of like settling a little bit. And so, but I also think, like I've told FA, if he keeps missing those, we're going to keep living with him until they start going in, because eventually they will. And he's had a few chippies. I think he had 10 points on the game, but he probably had 18 if he just makes some of those at the front of the rim. And at a critical time in the game, he scored 2 of them that really made a difference for us and gave us a little bit of breathing room again. And so, and I think that'll start to happen for several guys. We got guys that are capable and in due time, but if we continue to defend and fight and we take some of that pressure off ourselves, I think the lid will come off at some point.
Your offense was more than twice as productive in the second half, points-wise, compared to the first half. What did you and your staff say at halftime? What changed to use your term, help you guys unlock that a little bit after the halftime?
No, we just challenged them. There was a couple of guys that were allowing the fog to get the better of them and affect their body language, and to, putting their heads down a little bit in frustration. And we're talking about so many guys who have their first time in a big role. And all right, man, you want to be a player. Now's the time. You know what I mean? You can't pout. You gotta fight. We use the analogy every game. It's a 10-round fight, and there's no knockouts. No one's gonna knock you out in the first round, and you're not gonna knock anybody out. You have to play every minute of the game. And at halftime, we're almost acting like we're embarrassed or whatever, and we just gotta make it about ourselves and the team and continue to fight. And we fought in the second half. They responded to that message, and it's a credit to them.
How much of the learning process, as you and your team get used to each other, how much of the learning process is figuring out a way to dig out a win when the shots are not falling?
Yeah, I think that's what today was about. It was a great, every time, this week was special for us in a lot of ways. Because at some point as a team, like I've had a group the last 3 years that every time we got into a situation, it was usually something that we had a frame of reference for, that we had been through it together before, right? And so getting our butts kicked on Tuesday and really, kind of we felt like we were in quicksand. Even in practice, they're saying the right things. We're good, coach. We just gonna come out and fight. And then when we got in the game, there still was some residue there, and we found a way to win. And now this becomes something that is a frame of reference for us. Now we got to turn around and play a really good team on Tuesday. Really good team that we played 3 times last year, and they're picked #1 in their league for a reason. They're really, really talented. And I think getting our heads above water today gives us a chance to have a good day tomorrow to break down this game and be honest about it. Get some work done in preparation for Tuesday's game, and then Monday get some work done that'll give ourselves a chance to protect our home court against a team that'll probably be an NCAA tournament team.
Sam said that he assumed some of his teammates were probably eager to just go down and get up a lot of shots between now and Tuesday to try to get the shooting back on track.
Yeah.
Other than getting shots up, what can you talk about or tweak between now and then?
I'm constantly working on different concepts. We play a little bit of a free-flowing offense that has a lot of concepts, and it's a different kind of undertaking. It requires some feel and some decision making. But when you do this, when you play a motion style offense, oftentimes there's some rough patches before you get that synergy that you want to see, where all things are clicking, where there's a feel for what the shots that Steph is going to get, and what Sam's strengths are, and how Zurich can shine, and Jack, etc. And as we're going through that process, we have to be tough, defensive-minded, and so I think it's a process that we're going through, and then we have to complement it with some other concepts that put them where we want them to be, etc. And we made a conscious effort down the stretch to throw the ball inside to F.A., and he delivered. And there's other guys who have skill sets that we can take advantage of. So there's a balance there that we got to strike.
We can talk all about your offense, but as you pointed out, you did hold Evansville under 29%. What was the key to your team's defensive success tonight?
Well, there was a commitment there. Our backs were against the wall. We needed to do it, and they stepped up and did it. It was really as simple as that. And we got a couple of good voices right now. Zach's always been a great voice in our locker room, and F.A. is stepping into that. Really, really proud of him, the way he's stepping in to try to assume some leadership next to Zach. And then at some point we want Zurich to join that party, and then we want Sam to be a part of that. And I think when we get to that point, everyone else will fall in line around those guys. And if we don't get to that point, we'll be a little bit lesser than what we're capable of becoming.